Hello, modern Canadian living enthusiasts. Welcome back for another one of our little videos. Hope you're all doing well, enjoying the day. As you can see, it's a beautiful, bright day behind me. The weather is nice, sun is shining. Well, the weather appears to be nice, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So stick around because we got lots to cover. Oh, hi there. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back. Just checking for eggs. Weather's getting nice. Chickens are laying a lot more. We're getting a lot more of our nice little eggs. And as always, Ghost knows I'm filming, so he doesn't want to be left out. He says hi. With the nice weather approaching, like I was saying, we're getting a lot more eggs. Chickens are in full swing. Nicer days. But we got to remember, we're Canadian. And we're in Canada. And that means that Mother Nature is misleading. The weather is getting better, but we're not quite there. And Mother Nature likes to play lots of tricks on us, including multiple springs with extra winters and some deceitful ice rain thrown into the mix. This means, I'm getting to that, Nightwing. This means, though it may look like spring is here and it's going to be nice hot days, we still need to keep our chicken runs and coops wrapped up and in winter mode for the time being. It's starting to get warmer in the coops, but we're not anywhere near any danger temperature zones. And at this time of year, we still have issues. We can get snow, we can get freezing rain, we can get some windstorms. So we want to make sure that the birds are still protected, despite the curveballs that Mother Nature is going to throw at us. So continue to do your winter chores, do your cleanup in your runs and in your coops. Make sure that there's no holes in the vapor barrier, the protections that you've put up and around. You can start to think about when to open it, but for now, it's best to leave things closed up unless the temperatures start to get above those normal spots for an extended period of time. We're starting to see 20 degrees in here, then we're going to start unwrapping it. But for right now, it's only about 5 or 6 degrees warmer than the outside, and outside currently today, we're sitting at about we're sitting at about 2 degrees Celsius. So it's about 7 or 8 in here, comfortable for the chickens. Sun's coming in, you can feel the warmth. But like I said, we're still not ready to fully open up and unwrap and take it out of winter mode. Right now, with the sun out, the water is pretty much dried up, but we've got some more rain on the way. And chickens and mud, they don't really get along. They'll go through it, but it's not their favorite thing. And like we keep saying, you got to make sure that you keep your chickens and their environment dry. So as spring is upon us and we're getting these snow and freezing rain periods combined with some 16 to 20 degree days sprinkled in, very important that you come out, continue your daily checks. You want to make sure that there's no standing water around the coops or runs or getting in to the coops and runs. Again, make sure that they have a dry environment. Check to make sure that there's no buildups, no soft spots, and no sinkholes like we experienced, which caused our basement to flood. And that's where we were. We mentioned that in the previous video that we posted a couple days ago. But it's important to keep an eye on these things. And as spring is upon us and the ground begins to thaw, make sure that your setup stays level, doesn't start to bend, get crooked, or sink in any areas. Important things if we want to keep our investment sound, keep our birds safe. Other things we got to keep an eye on and keep checking. Everything we need for the chickens. In this case, the straw. With spring upon us, we got lots of rain, we got lots of water, the ground gets soft. We want to make sure that our straw is still in a usable state for the chickens. You don't want it to get wet, mushy, or moldy. So we got to make sure that we're keeping it dry, keeping it safe, protected from other creatures so nobody's infecting it or making any nests out of it and just wasting our materials. This applies to your feed. This will apply to any storage areas that the chickens have their stuff in. Any extra things that they use. Straw, hay, if you've got bedding stacked up somewhere, if you've got rows of it. Your compost piles. Keep an eye on them. They have chicken stuff in it too, right? Got to make sure that everything that we use for the chickens is doing okay, especially with spring upon us. We don't want any of this to go to waste. That would be wasted money, lost time, lost effort, and we got to go back and replace it all. So keep an eye on all things chicken related, not just the birds themselves. Speaking of expenses, you may be tempted to turn off or unplug your heated waterers. It's not quite time yet where we are. It may be where you are, but you need to make sure that the temperatures are consistently above 0 degrees. At night here, for example, we still can go down to -6, -10, -12 even. So we still have ours connected. They are still on 24 hours a day, and they will continue to do so for another several weeks or until the weather warms up enough that it's above 0 consistently. Then we will unplug them. So don't take apart your winter setup just yet, especially when it comes to the heated waters. Nothing sucks more than coming out one morning. It's completely frozen. Your birds need water. You got to break the ice out, go inside with the container, warm it up, refill it, bring it back out. You don't want to go through that struggle. So make sure that for now, at least, you're continuing to send power to your heated waterers. Keep them in use. There's always stuff to do. Checking their water, checking their feed, making sure they have enough of everything. They are going to be going out and starting to explore the property, get that free range time. But for now, it's very important that we keep up with our chores, especially as the air warms up and the light comes in and warms the areas. We want to make sure that there's no smells coming out of our bedding. If you do notice any smells, it's time to definitely change it out. We will be doing that in a few weeks, but for right now, ours is still fine. We continue to add the stall dry along with our fresh straw and some shavings for them in the nesting boxes. Spring is almost here. I mean, it's officially started, but the nice weather for the chickens to go out is almost here. Until then, though, we need to make sure that everything inside is still good. We got to make sure that there's no rips, no wind holes, no rain is getting in, no snow is getting in, because they're still spending most of their time on their indoor setups. You can let the birds out every now and then, let them forage around, check out the grounds, but before you do that, you need to walk around, make sure that there's nothing dangerous. No big tree branches, nothing sharp, no metal objects, nothing that was left hidden under the snow that is now starting to show itself. Check the grounds, make sure that there's no dead creatures or animals. In the winter, life happens, it continues, right? We do have foxes and coyotes around, so there may be carcasses or other things. We want to make sure that we get those taken care of before we let the birds out to free range. Make sure that there's no standing water in the area you're going to put them in, no diseases. And for right now, I'd recommend keeping them away from the forest, just as there are some mud pits where we are. Where you are, it might be a little different, but again, things to consider, right? Check out your environment, check out where the chickens are going to be exploring. Make sure it's safe before you let them out, have that bit of foraging time. And it is important to start doing so. Want to get them used to that summer routine again, where they can come out, explore, stretch their wings and legs and walk around the property. But we need to do it in steps, especially with the weather as it can quickly change during spring. We don't want the chickens to be caught outside during any of the wind or rainstorms. So you can see, like I was saying, we still have full winter mode engaged here. It's going to stay that way for another couple of weeks or until the weather shows some improvements and it's steady enough for the birds to have access to some more fresh air and keep the elements out. Once we know that the snow is not going to be coming anymore and that the rain has calmed down a bit, we'll begin to take off the sides bit by bit just to get back into that regular groove. As always, we hope you're all doing well. We hope that spring is treating you better than it has been treating us so far. But nonetheless, continue that journey. There's always so much left to see and do in life. There's so many things that our animals can teach us. And with spring around the corner, life begins anew. So get out there, do something, enjoy life, and until next time, take care.